And that's really as complicated as it gets. So thanks to an Android update a while ago, I haven't been able to stream things from this phone, Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus, to my 2012 Mazda 6 for a while now. And when I say stream, I'm talking audiobooks, I'm talking podcasts, I'm talking tunes from my phone. Just haven't been able to do it. There's been a series of updates that have come through. They haven't fixed this problem. It's not just reserved for the 2012 Mazda 6. Of course, there's quite a lot of older cars that are experiencing this kind of issue. Today, though, we're looking at a bit of an alternative. We're going to use this and get streaming back to our car. The best part about this particular thing is it cost me less than $5. With a couple of things that I found around the house, we can get it up and running and we can stream from this phone again. Hey Internet, Al here from One Man Many Plans, and welcome to my cheap little fix for the ongoing problem that is the streaming that all of a sudden stopped. No idea why. Some say it's a Samsung thing, some say it's an Android thing. Either way, an update came through last year and effectively ruined it. I can still take calls on the car, but I'd much prefer to actually stream things that I want to hear from the phone, including, like I said, audiobooks and podcasts and stuff from Black Library and all of the MP3s that I've jammed in on this thing. And so I've been looking at alternatives to actually get it up and running. And I've come across this. Now, this is a little chip, if you will. Oh, it's not really a chip, it's more sort of a module or a little board. It's actually the VHM314. It's a Bluetooth audio receiver board, Bluetooth module, if you will. And it cost me about $4.70 from eBay, and that's delivered here to my house, which makes this an incredibly affordable bit of kit. Now, it may look very, very complicated, but at its basic structure, it is a Bluetooth receiver. And at the bottom, near my fingernail here, it is a very, very small board. As you can see, you've got a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. And up here, it's like a little micro USB plug-in. And the great thing about this particular board, and one of the reasons that I decided to try it, is that you can solder things to it. But the great news is that if you're like me and you've just got a crate of cords and bits and pieces around, there's every chance you've actually got what you need on hand to get this board up and running to begin with. Because all I added to this particular board, it's really become plug and play in my case, was a couple of things. 3.5 millimeter audio jack to a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. You may have this from a previous car. I don't even know where this blue one came from. I had one in my old Toyota Sora. This wasn't it, but I've got a spare one. One end is going to go into the board, the other end is going to go into the AUX port in the center console, and I'll show you how that looks in just a sec. The other thing that you're going to need to power the board, you can wire and solder a USB into it, but if you've got a little micro USB, and I can't even begin to tell you where this came from. It's a very short one, which is really, really handy in this case because, you know, I don't want just coils and coils of wire in the center console. Wherever it came from, it's getting used again, and obviously that goes in to power it. That goes into the USB port. There isn't a USB port in the center console, but there is a cigarette lighter, which means you can use one of these. This is just a very, very cheap cigarette lighter USB charger. Very handy if you're going on long cruises and you're anything like my wife, who just constantly travels with a phone at about 20% or less. And if we're streaming, obviously it chews through the battery life. So definitely handy to have one of these things to begin with. But getting this to work, absolutely brilliant. So we're going to have that in the cigarette lighter. We're going to plug it in the right way, Al, and that goes into the board. And that's really as complicated as it gets. Here's where it is. This is the center console in the middle of my Mazda. As you can see, you've got the charger and the USB powering going there. The AUX very conveniently placed right next to it. And then, of course, you've got the board itself. Now, you may have a little container, little tray that you can put it into. What I am planning to do is actually knock up some kind of case for it using the 3D printer. It really won't take much filament at all given the size of this thing. But I've just leaned it up against the back of the center console just so you can see it. We'll add some power. So this is the car off. Add a little power. You've got power coming through the USB at that end. and you've got power coming through the board at that end. Now, this is the part of the video where I'd like to show you working and give you an indication of the quality of the sound, but unfortunately I can't, because when it connects to that, it knocks this out and so on and so forth. What I can say is that the first time I tried it with the blue cord, it sounded okay, but in the end I found another black cord and then it came out of both channels. So I don't know if the blue cord's a little bit worn out. These are years old, these things. So if you're getting it one side, or you're not getting stereo, maybe it's time to try a different AUX cord. The good news is it does work, and it works to the point where when you have it set up, as soon as you turn on the car, power goes to the unit and it's ready to go. And because it actually comes up in your phone, and it'll be like XHM BT or something like that, very, very easy to connect. Your phone will remember to connect it. So now suddenly we've got to that point where, as it should have been, when you jump in the car and you power it on and you've got your phone in your pocket, they instantly handshake and you're ready to go. It's just a case of pressing AUX on here to get to AUX mode, and then starting whatever you want on here. It's not an automatic process like it used to be, which is a little disappointing. So there's one caveat. The other thing I've got to point out is that unfortunately, if you're going to be using a little module like this, it does mean you can't use the car in its phone mode. Which, depending on how much you like talking in the car and talking loudly in the car on long road trips, might be a burden, might be a disappointment, might be the best thing ever. If you want to play things with this module through this phone, it's through this only. I actually had to disable, or at least forget, the car connection to my phone, because constantly it would actually knock out the signal from this module by trying to add the calling function back onto it. So I would be listening to something like a podcast, and all of a sudden the little phone symbol would pop up on the Mazda here, and it had just shut down this. It had just stopped everything playing, and that got very, very annoying. It took me a while to work out what was going on. At first I thought, every 20 seconds or so this thing shuts off. This is a complete waste of time. No, it's not the chip. It's actually the Mazda interfering. So if you are going this way, if you want your car to play more music and stuff like that, and you've got no other way to stream it apart from this module, just be aware that you won't be able to make phone calls on this or receive phone calls on the car side of things. Sound quality wise, I'm going to say it's possibly a step, maybe 2 steps below quality that you had from streaming beforehand, because there's just the slightest little hiss at loud volumes coming through the AUX. It's always been that way. When you're going through an extra cord, an extra link in the chain and everything else, there is a slight degradation in quality there. But if you're listening to, podcasts, for example, or an audiobook, and you're just cruising along, you probably won't even notice it. And you'll just be thrilled by the fact that you can finally do that again in this with a $5 chip, which is awesome. So there you go. That's my solution. Like I said, it does come at the cost of a couple of other things. You can't connect your car to it, otherwise it'll constantly knock out this connection that you've put in the center console here. But it's cheap, it's cheerful, it's tiny, it really, really won't take up much space. Like I said before, you might actually have a couple of these cords already. If you don't, they're very, very accessible. If you want to go down that extra path of soldering things in and making a permanent enclosure, you can. I'm looking forward to knocking something up in Tinkercad, printing it out, spray painting it black, and just tucking it in under, possibly the tray or something. It'll just happily be part of the car from here on in. So hopefully that has helped you. I'm still hoping there is a day where Android, Samsung, or whoever stuffed it up in the first place comes around and says, look, we're sorry, our latest patch fixes it, and I can go back to streaming and have my car phone and everything else that this thing is supposed to have. But until now, maybe it's time you spend $5 plus a couple of cords and maybe a little USB charger as well, and grab yourself a VHM 314 board. Less than $5, readily available. There's a red one and a black one. The red one apparently is Bluetooth 4.2 or 4.1. The black one is Bluetooth 5.0. I just figured, well, the phone's one of the newer models. I'll just use that one, and it works just fine. It's simple to connect. It's really, really easy. I've literally shown you that it's plug and play if you want to make it that simple. and away you go. So there you go. If you found this helpful, I'd really, really appreciate you giving it a like, a thumbs up. Leave a comment below if this solution works for you, if you're going to investigate it yourself. Alternatively, if you've got another module that you reckon would work better than this one, the VHM 314, please, by all means, let me know, because then I can let the world know, because any way that we can just make this process even better, maybe better quality, I don't know, maybe even a cheaper chip. It's up to you. Let me know in a comment below. Love you to like, love you to subscribe. Thanks for checking it out. And if you're a Mazda driver like me with one of these from 2012, you'll know how great these cars are. But the fact that now I can stream my phone again makes me a very, very happy driver. And I hope it does for you too.